All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chrissy Francis, and I use she, her pronouns. I work as a career counselor in the CSE Career Center, and I'm happy you're joining us today. We are going to be talking about career fair prep today. So, a couple of logistics for our Zoom meeting. We have a couple of moderators with us today, Amira and Cami. They are both officers with IEEE. So, they're going to be helping me out by sharing links in the chat, answering questions. So, know that they are around and available to help you. And if you do have questions throughout our workshop today, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. We may answer a couple of them throughout, or we will reserve time at the end of the session to answer some questions as well. So you can be holding on to them and then asking them at the end too, if you would prefer. I also turned on the live transcript. So if you want that to go away, there should be an option at the bottom of your page that says hide subtitle. So you can select that if you would like as well. So today's session is meant to be pretty quick. We've allotted about 30 minutes for a presentation and then maybe some time after for questions. There is a longer recording of our career fair prep session on the CSE YouTube channel. That was a little bit longer. You're welcome to watch that for more information if you would like. Otherwise, this session will also be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel probably within the next day or so. All right, so I think we will get started. So each year, CSE hosts two large-scale career fairs just for CSE students, one in the fall and then one in the spring. So this spring, we have 117 employers registered for our career fair, which is next Tuesday from 11 to 6. I really want you to check out the CSE Career Fair website. Our moderators will share that link with you in the chat. This website has a lot of good details on how to prepare, including additional workshop information, links to other information you need to know, FAQs, and additional details. So please check that out and read through each section. You'll get pretty well situated for that. And they are also sharing our virtual career fair prep guide. This is a PDF document that has more detailed information as well. So the career fair is a really great way to build your network. Sometimes that word is a little off-putting for students or a little scary. Why should I network? It really is a good way to access the job market. So there may be opportunities that will be coming up this spring semester that you don't know yet. They may not be posted online anywhere, but going to the the career fair is a good way to have those conversations with employers to learn about what might be coming up. It's also a really good way to build those positive relationships, and maybe give you a little bit of an advantage. Sometimes applying just with a resume and not having any other contacts can be really challenging on actually getting those positions, but making a connection is really helpful. The employer will get to know you a little bit and you can make an impression. So that's helpful. You can also learn more about the position that you might be interested in, as well as the company. This will allow you to interview better, maybe stand out as a candidate when you're applying, and you can also present your professional skills in a networking environment. So the career fair is a really great way to network. I do think networking is a really common practice among professionals. Most people are really happy to talk with students, especially at a career fair. They've all signed up for this. They all want to be having conversations with you. It might be new to you, but remember that the people that you'll be talking with at the career fair, they were in your shoes once too. So they've been where you're at. They understand that it can be a little nerve-wracking to go to a career fair and have conversations with an employer. In person, I've also been around in the building and I've heard employers kind of talking with each other. And one of the employers had said, I'm a little nervous. This is my first career fair. So if that helps lighten it up for you a little bit, just know there are other people and they're willing to have conversations. But networking, I think, can be really helpful for you in kind of landing the positions that you're hoping to get. I also think it's a common misconception that you're going to go to the career fair and you're going to walk away with a job. That's not exactly how it works. Again, the career fair really is an opportunity for you to create an impression and maybe start building a relationship with an employer. It's also really helpful to learn more about what's out there and what's possible. It's also a professional setting, so you can start practicing a little bit and how to engage in a professional way. You may discover additional positions or fields or companies that you didn't even know existed, and it's a way to learn more. So if you're not necessarily searching for something specific right now, I do think it's helpful to go to the career fair to learn about companies and positions, Ask employers what they look for in applicants so you can learn how to improve upon you as a candidate for maybe next year or the year beyond. And maybe even creating some contacts for informational interviews where you can have conversations with them to learn more about what they look for, maybe in a setting outside of the career fair, so you can have a longer conversation. And if you are currently searching for an internship or a job, this is a really great way to learn about active opportunities or opportunities that will be coming up shortly. You can also get flagged by an employer to move on to next steps. So the Career Fair platform has an opportunity for employers to kind of track you on the back end. So that's a nice way to stand out as well. And most employers report that they plan to follow up with at least one student, but a majority of the employers plan to follow up with 5 to 10 different candidates. So it's a good way to kind of move on to those next steps. So we are going to transition into logistics on how to prepare for the fair and then also how to use the app. So if you attended in the fall, it is the same platform. We are using Career Fair Plus. So we recommend that you download the app. It's pretty easy to just search for Minnesota within Career Fair Plus, and then you'll find the CSE Career Fair. That's the best way that I found to find the actual career fair. And then you're going to create a profile. So there is a meetings tab, and then there is a profile option in the top right-hand corner of the app. It's pretty self-explanatory, but once you're in there, then you can edit it. So you're able to edit things like your profile picture, your phone number, an email, and your phone number is what you will be using the day of the fair if there's any trouble connecting. So the employer knows that they have your phone number and they've been communicated to call you directly if there's any trouble with the online platform. That will kind of alleviate some time wasted. So just make sure you've got that up to date. Your profile will be seen by employers. And you will also upload a resume into that profile as well, which they will see too. There are additional pieces of information in the More section on the app. We will have info about the CSE Career Center, the co-op program, and the International Student Support Room. So these are all virtual rooms that you can join during the career fair if you have any questions that pop up. They will be staffed by appropriate people that can help answer your questions. So know that that is a resource during the career fair for you as well. So researching employers, this is going to be a pretty important thing to do before you go into the career fair. This screenshot here is a little screenshot of what you might see in the app. There's an opportunity to filter down by the type of position that you're looking for or the type of company that you're looking for. I recommend searching broadly. So there's an opportunity to filter down by major, which you can try. Position type as well, so internship or job, the year in school that you are, and also the work authorization. So one note about the work authorization, if you are an international student, you need work authorization to work off campus for those internships and also after graduation. And that includes paid and unpaid work experiences. So for the purposes of the app, I would recommend using the CPT, OPT, and sponsorship filters. The other ones don't necessarily make a lot of sense, so just try to avoid using those. And then you can also, for all students, I would recommend searching by keyword. So back on the main page that lists all of the employers, type in a keyword like aerospace if you're interested in that, and try omitting it from your major filter and see if you get any more options that way. Once you're finding some employers that look interesting, you can also make notes on them and favorite them so you can come back to them easily. You can also research what the company does, maybe look at their mission statement, their values, including the positions that they're hiring for, products they make. You just want to be informed about the company. We also have a link to our researching employers document that'll give you more tips on what you might want to look for as you're researching. And make note of this. This will come up as you're having those conversations with the employers. Most employers say they're really impressed by students that know how to talk about their company. So if they say, what do you know about us and why are you interested? If a student can articulate that, they are really impressed by that student. So put some time and energy into researching. I think it will really help you out. Have questions prepared that you want to talk to or ask those employers too. Through your research, you'll be able to come up with some questions, things that you're still curious about or that you weren't able to find the answers to. So have that prepared. And keep this organized somewhere. So make a Google Doc that has information on the employers you want to meet with, info about them, and questions you want to ask, for example. I would also encourage you to search broadly. So don't just look for those big name companies that you're already familiar with. Scan through that whole list of companies and see if there's any others that you might be a good fit with. Read a little bit about their background, and I would encourage you to engage with those employers too. You can also look through Gold Pass, their company websites. You may be able to find position descriptions on those pages. Not all of them will be posted, and within the app, you won't be able to find the actual description of the position that you'd be applying for. So you'll have to do a little bit of research to find out what that is. And if you can't find it, then you can ask the employer about it. So I mentioned Gold Pass. Some of you may know this as Gold Pass powered by Handshake or just Handshake. It's the same account. So this is the university's job and internship database. It's similar to monster.com, but it's specifically for you as a U of M student. So you can use this system to apply for jobs, internships, and co-ops. You can find and register for career events like this career fair, researching companies, they have profiles on there. And then, as I mentioned, those positions that they're hiring for. When you create an account on GoldPass, you will have your resume reviewed when you sign up and upload it. So we encourage you to create an account right away if you don't currently have one. We get a lot of new accounts created the week of the career fair. A lot of employers have interviews right after the fair, and you need an approved resume to apply for those opportunities. So don't wait on that. Create an account as soon as possible. All right, so meeting with employers. This is one of the biggest things that you all need to be aware of for the career fair. Scheduling meetings. You need to sign up for those meetings now if you are ready to do it. Sign up open this morning at 8 a.m. I was checking throughout the day today, and we still have over 3,400 spots available for you to sign up with. We are in contact with some of those companies whose schedules have filled, and we are hoping that they may be able to add on more time slots. So keep checking if one of your top employers is filled. You might find some availability a little bit later on today or maybe later on the week too. So again, signing up for meetings with employers, it's pretty intuitive. Basically, you're going to tap on the employer that you want to meet with and then tap on meetings, and you'll be able to see the schedule that they have available. Select the schedule that you're interested in. They may have different schedules for different types of positions, so an internship or a full-time job. And then you want to find the time that works for you, select yes to book the meeting, and then you should be set. So employers can choose the length of their time slots. Usually they're about 10 minutes in length. They may vary a little bit. You won't be able to schedule back-to-back appointments. You'll have a few minutes in between. And that's really helpful because then you'll be able to take notes on your conversation with the previous employer, and then you'll have a few minutes to prepare for your next meeting. So that's a good thing. And then just don't forget the meetings are scheduled on a first come, first serve basis. So if there is an employer you really want to meet with, make sure you sign up as soon as possible. I also recommend warming up with an employer that's maybe not on the top of your list. So schedule them first thing in the morning. That way you can kind of practice a little bit, get some of your jitters out, and then you're going to be feeling really confident and ready to go when you're meeting with more of your kind of higher level employers, or the ones higher on your list. You will also be able to sign up for appointments through 5 p.m. Central Time during the career fair. There will be open times still available. So if you find some extra time in your schedule and you want to add on another meeting or two, you can certainly do that. And then new this spring is we are offering group meetings with employers. So this is an opportunity for you to be in a group setting to learn from a specific employer about a company. There are 44 companies that are offering that this spring. So it's not a one-on-one conversation. If those are feeling a little intimidating, or maybe you just want to go to the career fair to explore and learn more about what's out there, but you're not necessarily wanting to talk about a specific position, these are a really good opportunity for you to engage in as well. We will also share a video that you can watch a little bit later on that guides you through how to set up those meetings and what to expect the day of the fair. It's pretty informative, so watch it when you have a moment. All right, so your resume. I mentioned that you'll need to upload your resume into your career fair profile. We have a whole workshop on resume writing tomorrow, so you might want to check that out. But the biggest things to keep in mind is you want a one-page resume in most cases. You're going to have one resume in your profile that will be used for all companies. So you're not going to be able to tailor the day of. That's okay. And companies can view your resume in advance. So if you're signing up to speak with an employer today, they can access your resume today. So just keep that in mind. We do have resume writing guides on our website. So if you need a little help putting that together, you can take a look at our guide. You can also attend our drop-in hours. Those are Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 this week, and then Monday, 10 to 4. And that's an opportunity to meet with a counselor or a peer to get some individualized feedback on your document. We are also offering a virtual resume marathon this Friday, where an employer will look at your resume and give you some feedback. So if you're interested in that, sign up in Gold Pass for that event. And then once it's ready, make sure that you update it into your Career Fair Plus profile. Another big thing that you're going to want to get prepared before the career fair is your elevator pitch. So this is just an opportunity for you to talk about yourself. We call it an elevator pitch because the theory is if you were in an elevator with an executive or somebody that could hire you, you probably only have about 30 seconds to share with them about who you are and make an impression. So that's why we call it an elevator pitch. It's kind of silly, but it's your introduction. So you want to make sure that you have this down pretty well. It really is an opportunity to talk about yourself and have a discussion. It shouldn't be this rehearsed robotic speech about who you are and all of the pieces about your background. That will be a little bit boring, but it will be helpful to have these pieces of information in mind so that you can quickly pull from them when you're talking with the employer. So you want to be thinking about your career goals, what your interests are, maybe current skills that you already have. And oftentimes, when you start your introduction, it's nice to share your name, your year in school, what you're studying, and then also your knowledge of that company and your interests. So, again, that's where your research is going to come into play, and then what you're looking for. So, I'm really interested in this internship this summer. And then, oftentimes, I think it's a nice strategy to end that statement with a question. So, can you tell me a little bit more about how that program is structured? From what I could tell, it looks like you have a cohort of interns. What does that training look like? So now you're kind of turning it over to the employer to have a conversation with you. So make sure you ask good questions. It should be back and forth. We do have a little sample script of how you could phrase this and some other ideas on our career fair prep handout. So you can take a look at that too. So we also have some other ideas on the screen here of things that you might want to say or talk about if you are not searching actively right now and you're just exploring what's out there, or if you are specifically searching for a job or an internship. Clothing and attire. So, even though it is a virtual career fair, it still is really important to dress appropriately. Professional attire can really increase your own confidence. You're going to feel really good about yourself and also capture the attention of the recruiters and the people that you're talking with. So, those first impressions really do matter. So, you want to impress them. Suits, jackets, button up shirts and ties, blouses, those are all really appropriate. You want to make sure that your accessories, if you're wearing any, are really simple. Just be well groomed. T-shirts, sweatshirts, things like that, I would stay away from. And just dress in a way that's authentic to how you'd like to be viewed in the workplace. We do have some ideas on our Pinterest page of ways that you might dress if you're not totally sure what to expect. And if you have questions, you can always ask those at drop-ins as well. So we do know that professional attire can be somewhat expensive. So CSE has partnered with a local organization, and we also have another event coming up too. So a little bit of information about those. Ready for Success is an organization that we partnered with to provide professional clothing at no cost to you. So how this works is you need to be currently searching for a job or an internship and demonstrate financial need. Visit our career fair webpage, and there's an application there to fill out. Appointments are limited. Once you're approved for an appointment, you will get instructions on the next steps for those processes. It may not happen before the career fair, but you might be able to get something in time for upcoming interviews or future events that you might be engaging in. Generally, you'll get one suit, either brand new or gently used, as well as accessories, kind of depending on their availability. And then the other event that is going on right now is our JC Penney Suit Up event. So this is an opportunity for you to text Gophers to the number on the screen, and you'll get a 30% off coupon code. You can use it either in store or online. And that is appropriate for qualified apparel and accessories. And you can use that code all the way through May 2nd. So even if you don't need it now and you want some professional clothes a little bit later on, you can definitely use it. You can text that number right now and get the coupon code and then use it whenever you'd like. All right, so now that you are all prepared to go to the career fair, the day of the career fair, we are encouraging students to log into their meetings just 1 or 2 minutes before their scheduled start time. Employers are going to be in meetings with other candidates, so they're not going to be able to join into your meeting prior to that start time. So don't be expecting that. If there are any technical issues, that employer will call you on your phone as a backup. So for you, we recommend joining your appointments with a computer instead of the app on your phone. It won't be as great of an experience. So if you can do it on your computer, that would be great. And keep in mind that the Career Fair Plus platform only works on Chrome and Firefox browsers. So most employers will be using video. There might be a few that are using a different type of link. So double check your schedule. Otherwise, you should be able to log right into Career Fair Plus to have all of your meetings. If you have some internet issues, see if you can plug directly into a wired connection. Other things that will help: close any other programs on your computer, other browser tabs, extra windows that might be using up bandwidth. Just close it all down so you're really focused in on your career fair meetings. And then Career Fair Plus also allows you to speak with recruiters with your audio only or audio and video. We really do recommend using video for a better experience. It'll look a little bit more personal, and it just feels a little bit better to talk to an actual person instead of just the audio. So double check your microphone and camera. You can test that out ahead of time. And then position your camera so that there's either a blank wall behind you or kind of a simple background. If you're in a dorm room, make sure that your bed is made, that things are just looking clean and organized. Try to ensure that you have good lighting. Turn on a lamp if you need to. Natural lighting is really helpful too if you have that opportunity. And then just limit other distractions. So turn off your phone, your TV, put your email on mute or turn it down altogether. And then if you do have something that happens, like a pet joins your call or the doorbell rings or something like that, it's okay. We're all working in this virtual environment, and I'm sure we've all had those interruptions happen to us. So just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, my dog is barking, 1 moment," and then come back to your meeting. Try not to let it bother you too much and just move on with your conversation. And then the other nice thing about a virtual career fair is you can have notes available up on your screen and you can glance over to it, read what your notes are about that company or specific questions you wanted to ask, and you can jot down notes as you go too. So you can kind of glance over and then back to your camera. That's going to be pretty typical. So use those notes to your advantage. And then other tips for interacting with employers. When you begin your conversation with an employer, you want to make sure that you're smiling, introduce yourself, make eye contact with the camera on your computer instead of your own image on the screen. See if you can kind of adjust things so it looks like you're looking directly at them. I mentioned that the employer will be able to see your Career Fair Plus profile as well as your resume in their appointment window. So you can reference your resume when you're talking about yourself. Just know that they have access to it. Be polite, be honest, enthusiastic, speak slowly, clearly, and then just try to relax and be yourself. If you remember that they're just another person on the other side of your screen, that will probably help you relax a little bit. I've heard from some students that in the fall, some of the employers were asking them a lot of questions and it felt almost like an interview. So I guess be prepared for that as well. And then some conversations might be a little bit more relaxed where it can go back and forth. You can get your questions answered. So just be prepared. Try to be as relaxed as possible and be genuine. You may also want to ask the employers about their hiring process and how you might be considered for those opportunities. So, where they want you to apply, what timelines they're working with. You can also ask the employers to potentially set up an informational interview to learn more about their company and opportunities. So, if you feel like that 10-minute window is too short, you could ask to meet with them outside of the career fair. They may be open to that. Most employers will direct you to apply online. So don't be discouraged. That's part of the process. That's what needs to happen. Like I said, you can't apply for a position directly through Career Fair Plus. So just know that that will be the next step. Employers will be taking notes on your conversations or, like I said, flagging you to say, I want to bring them in for an interview. So they're going to kind of be keeping track of things on their end. And then they'll reach out to you to inquire about those interviews if they'd like to move forward, but make sure that you're informed on what their process is and when you can expect to hear back from them by. And then before you leave the meeting with them, ask for their contact information or their preferred method for following up. You might reach out to them on LinkedIn or send them an email, and then make sure that you thank them for their time. Tell them to have a good day. Remember, they're another person who's having a lot of meetings. So, um, those little things can make a difference. So, try to be polite and friendly. And then after the fair, make sure that you follow up with those employers that you are really interested in. Within 48 hours is ideal. Now you have their contact information because you asked for it, so you should be able to email or send them a LinkedIn note. Remind them of the date and time that you met with them. Mention something unique about your conversation, your interest. Um, be specific. So again, if you're job searching or internship searching, tell them the position that you were really interested in and the qualifications you have that you think would be a good fit. And then if you were just networking, you could ask for future conversations or thank them for their time and sharing the information with you. So I do think it is really important to follow up, especially if it's a company you're interested in working with either now or in the future. Um, so make sure that you do that. And then other opportunities for after the fair, you can attend information sessions. These are held virtually. Log into Gold Pass, you'll see a whole list of them in the events page. This is another way to engage with employers, hear about their companies, and learn from them too. So, another way to network. All right, so we do have some more upcoming events. I mentioned our drop-in counseling hours this week and next. First come, first serve. They're about 10 minutes in length. So if you have a resume you want reviewed, feel free to bring it with you to our drop-in hours. There is a link on our homepage of the Career Center that you can join those meetings. Some additional information about the virtual resume marathon this Friday. And then we also have a virtual practice interview days. That is after the fair on Thursday and Friday, the 11th and 12th. That's an opportunity for you to do a mock interview with an employer, which is kind of nice to get more feedback without it really counting for a whole lot, but right from an employer, which is nice. So you can sign up for those events under the events tab in Gold Pass. Um, Search for the name of the event and then sign up as early as possible, as some of those spots are limited. And then our upcoming workshops this week, resume writing tomorrow, job and internship searching Wednesday, interviewing on Thursday, and then a specific session for international students regarding career fair prep on Friday. So feel free to join those sessions as well. All right, we're at about a half an hour, so I just wanted to check in and see if we have any questions that you all still have that have not yet been answered. Feel free again to write in the Q&A window. And Cami and Amira, if there's anything that came up in the chat, feel free to let me know. Okay, I do see a question. How is the job fair different from the career fair? It's the same thing. I apologize. I was probably using those words interchangeably. Job fair, same thing as a career fair. And there are opportunities for jobs, internships, as well as co-ops. I don't know if I directly mentioned co-ops, but all kinds of opportunities. All right, another question on what types of questions do employers like to hear? I think good questions for you to ask would be things that would really help you assess if it would be a good fit for you. So, questions you might still have about the company. How does the company support their employees? What kind of training do you offer for interns or full time employees? You could ask questions about their mission, the products that they make, their customers, things that you're genuinely curious about. And I think that's where your research is going to come into play because you'll probably start noticing little gaps of like, well, I didn't learn much about their clients. I wonder more about that. So, questions that are genuine and authentic. Um, I feel like employers get a lot of questions about, like, what do you like about your job? And that's okay. It's not like a super in depth question. So, there's probably other types of questions that would be more impactful for you. Again, take a look at that researching employers guide. You're going to get some other ideas of how to research and then generating questions that way. All right, another question about cover letters. Do you need to have them prepared? And do you need a different cover letter for different companies? That's a good question, too. Thank you for asking. So, you don't need a cover letter for the career fair. or job fair. It's going to be basically just your resume that they're looking at and then your profile. You may need to submit cover letters for specific positions after the career fair. But in order to do a good cover letter, it really should be customized for each position or company. Sometimes I encourage students to create kind of a standard cover letter that talks a little bit about themselves, their backgrounds, but really to create a good cover letter, you need to read the job description and figure out what is it the employer is looking for, what would be your responsibilities, things you'd be doing on the job, and then write about that directly in your cover letter. So you want to kind of tailor and match to what they're looking for. We do have a cover letter guide on our website too, so you can take a peek at that as well. And we can also review those in drop-ins. All right, are there any other questions? All right, well, it doesn't look like we have any more coming in. So if anything else comes up, um, as a reminder, we will have this recording posted on the CSE YouTube channel, so you can look there for the slides and the information. You can always come to drop-in hours, ask any questions you have about the career fair or anything related to your career development. We will be available every day this week and next week. And then again, as a reminder, if you're at the career fair and something comes up, we have that CSE Career Center help room that you can join too. So we are around to help you and support you. And I wish you the best of luck at the career fair. Thank you all for coming today. And thank you to Cami and Amira as well for helping me moderate. I appreciate it. All right. I hope you all have a good rest of your day today.